All right, hello everybody. So today I'm going to show you how I make some super flexible scaffolding that you can just kind of like litter all over your scene to add a bunch of extra detail. It's super flexible, super easy to make, and just super handy to have and throw in your asset browser. All right, so the first thing you got to make sure is that you're using Blender 3.4. Before we jump into the geometry nodes part of it, we have to actually just make our scaffolding pieces. So I'm gonna make a few here, but you can make more than I make. I'm just gonna make a couple. So to start with the scaffolding pieces, we are gonna make an icosphere, and yeah, I'm gonna have the fewest amount of subdivisions because we want everything to be pretty low poly. So in edit mode, I'm gonna scale it down just to keep the scale all intact. While we're still in edit mode, I'm gonna add a cylinder. Again, we're just gonna do 6 vertices to keep everything low poly. You can go into X-ray mode with Alt Z, select the whole cylinder and bring it down. So yeah, something really cool about Blender that I figured out when I was trying to make this tutorial is that you can use the N menu to affect just single like vertices or groups of vertices. So I want this one to be exactly at 1 meter up, so I can do that. And then this one down here, I just want it at 0, so I can just do that. Isn't that cool? I thought that was really cool when I saw it for the first time. So I'm gonna L select that whole island. I'm gonna duplicate it. I'm gonna change the pivot point to the 3D cursor, and I'm gonna rotate that one around the x-axis. Okay, I'm noticing right now that these are probably gonna be a little bit too thick, so I'm gonna S to scale, Shift Y on the y-axis. These aren't gonna be perfect. You can make them as perfect as you want when you're making it, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna scale, Shift Z on the z-axis. This one's still selected. I'm gonna Shift D and rotate it on the y-axis. Boop. So yeah, we got one little piece of scaffolding. Sweet. You can keep it cubular if you want, but for this tutorial, I'm actually gonna make it a little bit longer one way. So I'm gonna take this one bar, and instead of it being at -1, I'm gonna have it at -1.618, that's just the golden ratio. Anytime I need something to be like a little bit off of perfect, I just use that because, I don't know. Okay, sick. So we got one piece of scaffolding. We are gonna rename it scaffold piece. We're gonna put it into a new collection, scaffolding. Cool, so now that that's in the collection, I'm gonna select it, Shift D, duplicate it, X, Control to keep it just moving 1 unit on the x-axis. Now I'm just gonna change it a bit. Let's just delete this one. Cool. Now we're gonna take this one, duplicate it again, gonna delete this one. I'm just gonna make a bunch of these. Okay, and you can keep going with this. I think there's like 80 or 90 different combinations of these 3-poled scaffolding pieces. I'm just gonna do this way though. Okay, sweet. I'm just gonna hide the scaffolding pieces now. Go in my other collection. We're gonna add a cube. I'm gonna bring that back to the middle though. I'm gonna, in edit mode, scale it up a little bit, then head over to geometry nodes and hit new. Where the heck is there it is. All right, first thing we're gonna do is mesh to volume. Sweet, and then we are going to do distribute points in volume. This is why we need Blender 3.4 because this doesn't appear in 3.3. Cool, so instead of random, we're gonna do grid, and then for all of these, we're gonna do x1, y 1.618, because remember our pieces are 1.618 long on the y-axis, and then 1 there, sweet. And then we're just gonna instance on points, cool, and then all we gotta do is bring in our scaffolding collection by clicking and dragging over here. And then we plug that into the instance thing. And then we just gotta click all the check marks that we see. There we go. So this is like a very basic setup. And all you gotta do is like go into edit mode of the cube, and we can like, yeah, move this wherever we want. I can make an edge loop here, and then take this face and extrude it out. I can take this this part, this edge, and bring it up, and it's just like super flexible, and you can kind of do whatever. yeah, it just like goes to wherever that piece is, which is kind of cool. But I want to add a little bit more functionality in this thing, so I'm gonna show you guys some stuff that I like doing. Okay, and the first thing I like doing is adding a little bit of like being able to control the scale. So the way we do that is we're gonna get a vol value node, and we're gonna take that value and we're gonna put it into a map range node. Boop. So we'll plug this into here, and we're gonna go from minimum of 0 to a maximum of, let's just say 10. And then we're gonna make that go from a minimum of 7 and a maximum of 0.4. It's really, really important to not let everything scale down to 0, because Blender is just gonna crash. It's gonna try and like scale everything infinitesimally small, and it's just gonna crash. So yeah, always make sure it kind of has a cap. The next thing we gotta do is grab a vector math node. We're gonna plug it into the spacing of the distribute points in volume, and we're gonna be changing it to multiply. Bring the map range node into the vector math, and then we're gonna be multiplying everything by 1.618, and 1.618. Cool, and then we can also plug the map range node into the scale of the instance on points over here. Sweet. So yeah, now it should work as a scale, and that's just nice if like if you're seeing you accidentally built it like not to the scale of a human, or you want just like different size stuff. It's just like really easy then to change it. Okay, and the next thing I like doing is adding, I call it just like adding some jank, because you could have this scaled up and it looks good, but it's also perfect. Like everything is absolutely perfect and it's perfectly aligned everywhere, and that's, I don't know, it's a little disappointing if you want something to look a little weird and off. So we're gonna add a noise texture, and then we're gonna normalize it by getting a vector math node. Maybe it's not normalizing, maybe it's unnormalizing it, because we're going from 0 to 1 down to -0.5 and +0.5. So yeah, subtract by 0.5, and then we're gonna get another vector math node and change that to multiply, plug the subtract into the multiply, and then that into the rotation. So yeah, and then we're just gonna get another value node and plug that into the multiply. So that kind of changes the amount of rotation on each individual piece. We'll move the value up, and yeah, you can see it just kind of gets a little wonky. And you can't go too close because you'll see like nothing actually lines up when you do this, but you can do it a little bit and get away with it. Sometimes I like bringing the scale down, just so that there's like actual kind of like waves in the structure. And the detail you got to bring down too. Yeah, there, you can kind of see the actual wave of it, and that just kind of shows like, okay, like if you build this scaffolding piece and it's angled a bit, and then you build that one, it's angled a bit, and then that one, that's angled a bit, and then the people who like keep building the scaffolding are like, oh, we're leaning that way, we gotta start bringing it the other way, so they start building it that way. So yeah, we can just bring that a little bit smaller. Yeah, it's just kind of cool. If you want to be able to change the jank value and the resolution, yeah, once again, this is like geometry nodes 101, but we can just drag these into the group input, drag that one and drag that one. So this first one is the scale, or resolution, I guess. I think either. And then this next one is jank amount. Oh, and instead of vector, we're just going to change it to a float. And we're going to go from 0 to maybe like 1.5 is the max we want it to go. Yeah, that's okay. That's still a little crazy, but, and then resolution, it can be 0 to 10. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think that's it. This is, I guess, kind of what it looks like. I mean, you probably already know this, but if you wanna shade it in any particular way, you just have to make a Make a new texture, called it scaffolding. And then in geometry nodes, we're gonna do set material, change that to scaffolding. Yeah, that's what that is. And then you can do whatever. You can make it black, you can make it a little brownish. You can add different textures, you can put an image texture on there. Okay, and just for fun, that's what I did here, and that's kind of what it looks like. And yeah, it's just, it's super fun, because you can just kind of keep playing with it, and just kind of goes into the shape that you would expect it to go in. It's super easy, just play with. It's fun. So yeah, I think that's the tutorial for today. I hope you liked it. Bye.